to do some powerful things in us. And we build that faith, continuing to grow in the grace and knowledge of God. And the Bible says faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God. So the more that we get into that, and the more we understand, and the more faith that you and I will experience in our Christian walk. It's not, when we're talking about the faith, we're not talking about just believing for something, for a specific thing. We're talking about faith that's going to get you where you need to go and end up where you want to be. And that's what this is all about. So that's the beginning of it. Then we begin to build on that. We begin to grow out. We don't try to start over, every 5 minutes or 30 days when something takes place that and we experience some kind of a failure. And we get up and go on because that foundation's been laid. We know how to do it. And we just get up and go on with it. And then we began to build. I'll talk about building families on a solid foundation. Every family should begin with marriage. We understand it doesn't necessarily always happen that way, but God's got a fix for that. All we need to do is look at the biblical foundations for it and take care of the issues and move from where we are and allow God to do the work in our lives. There's one thing about God, when He talks about you and I being in Christ, when we submit ourselves to Him and give ourselves to Him wholly, He says, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. And so we begin a new walk, and we learn how to walk from the biblical guidelines, and we ask God to help us and guide us along the way. And as we build families and we build marriage doesn't end when we say I do. It only begins. And so just because you said I do does not mean that that person is going to be with you forever, regardless. It just don't work that way. That's the way it should be. It doesn't always work that way. And so we have to work through all of those issues. Last week we talked about the conflicts that every marriage goes through. I'd love to tell you that me and my team has a perfect marriage, but as close as that is, it's not perfect. Amen. I don't want y'all to think it's all over, okay? I never implied that to start with. The biggest problem is right here behind the pulpit. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage, so we have to build on that. We have to understand who we are, and we understand the issues. We talk about the conflicts; they're real. There's going to be conflicts. When you get married and you think there's never going to be another conflict, you're living in la la land. You're watching too much TV. Because if you watch much TV, you understand that it's not there either. But there's difficulties, but it can be worked through. This is the message that I want to get across to us today is whatever state you're in, you can get through it by the grace of God and by the power of God working in us. But we have to understand, we have to cooperate with God and walk according to the biblical foundation. You know, when a foundation is laid, there are safeguards that are set. That you and I understand that when we start going up with this wall, that foundation is not going to crack. Your building on that foundation is secure, and you can start not having to worry about the foundation anymore, but building on that foundation, you begin to put things together. The Bible calls it in the Christian walk being fitly framed together as a body, as a church, as a people. We all fit into this thing. Some misconceptions about becoming a Christian is just between you and God. There is an element of that, but that's not all there is to it. You're part of us whether you like it or not. Lord, come on. You're a part of the church. God has baptized you into the body of Christ, and you become a part of something. It's not just about you. Somebody came up with a song a few years ago. I say a few years ago, but a long years ago, older than some of you. The truth. That and how we move in that. Well, that's kind of the way marriages is. You see, the only difference between that and marriage is the fact that if you're a Christian, both of you are involved. Now, you got to work that out. And the best place to practice the biblical truths of God's Word is right at home. If it don't work there, it don't work anywhere. We're just living a lie. We're deceiving ourselves. And all of our children are calling us hypocrites. They ain't calling us that because they know that. But they think that. But if they understand that, that's you're not there, and that's not where you're going to stay, and you move on with God, and they understand the intent of your heart and where you're going and what you're doing, then it takes a different perspective. It's just like we know marriages are not perfect. We know you and I, as Christians, we don't live a perfect life. I wish I could tell you that I did, but I think it would be contrary to Scripture, and you'd know that I was lying, even if I thought it. It's not about you and I being perfect. I think probably is a person that I admire in the Bible as much as anybody is the Apostle Paul. And he said, I don't count myself as already perfect. But he said, I press toward the high mark. And so when we're dealing with marriages and Christianity, we're looking at a high mark. Our intent is we want to make it to the end. We want to see it through. Wherever you are, and some of you, I understand, and it's not to bring condemnation on anybody. There's times people just have to start over. That's the same in the Christian walk. People have to start over. God says, do the first works over. When you lose it, you do the first works over. So if you ever have to start again, just keep what I'm saying to you in mind and understand that this is where we go with this. This is how we have to do it. I don't want to read a scripture in part 3. I mentioned last week some things that wives need and husbands need or want. We always don't get what we want. But nevertheless, I'll deal with some of them in a moment. But I want to read some scripture in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 24 and 25. And understand there's some foundation principles involved with where we're going to go with some of these issues. It says, therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so that the wives of each of their own husbands in most everything. In everything. There's a reason for that. Husbands, he also said, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. It's a pretty high expectation for the husbands. Then I'm going to go to 1 Corinthians 11:3. He said, I would have you to know that the head of every man is Christ, the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Now, this is God's order. This is the foundation of biblical truths on which you and I, whatever expectation you and I might have about marriage, must be based on some of these foundational issues. And so we have to incorporate them. We can't just take one passage of scripture out and say, God says, you got to listen to me, babe. He did say that. And quite frankly, it's easy to listen to somebody that loves God and puts God first, and that their head is Christ. It's lots easier to do. And so when we take that out of the equation, we mess it all up. So there's a biblical mandate as to how this is supposed to be. There's a divine order. Somebody has to be the head. Somebody has to be the leader. Well, Marvell was talking about leaders today. Somebody's got to lead. What would you do if you was president of the United States? Somebody got some ideas, right? It would probably be more difficult for you to I'm not saying they ain't some fixes. I'd love to recommend some. I don't know if they would be taken or not, but I do my recommendations on in the voting booth for the most part. That's all we can do. And in prayer. And we should be doing it. Amen. But marriage is not a perfect thing either, and so we have to deal with that according to biblical principles. I was thinking about some things that are needed in marriage, and some ideas that I had, but I'm not going to use my ideas today. I pretty much agree with the ones that I'm going to mention to you. I believe the guy's name was Dr. Hardy. This is kind of secondhand information, so if you disagree with it, it's okay. I don't have a problem. I think for the most part, this is going to pretty well be. This guy was a doctor, had his doctorate, and he had been counseling couples, marriages for over 20 years, and asked a lot of questions. And there were a top 5 things that wives need from men in their marriages. And they were the top 5 out of all the questions over those years. I would ask what husbands really need in a relationship with their wives. So I'm going to begin that, and then we'll come into some other scriptures, and we'll get some other issues as we go along. But one of the major needs for women is affection. Women need affection from their husband. And you might say, well, what kind of affection are you talking about, brother? I'm going to leave that all up to your imagination. I'm just saying. They need affection. And it's not always what the husband may think. They need someone to just hug them and just take a moment out of their time to let them know that they're appreciated. Just a moment. We was reading something of some time back. I seen it. It was about hugging, your spouse, and there was something about the 20-second hug. Anybody ever seen anything on that side of her? I know she did. Okay, I was about to say she made it up. No, I'm not saying but this is the reality that, according to the studies, that wives just need to be hugged. And of course, we better stop hugging, but I don't know that I ever consciously did the 20-second hug. I kind of like it, actually. I like it a lot. I don't know if I don't like it as good as she does, but you know what I'm saying. It's just a matter of taking the time to be affectionate, and show yourself that you care, for one another. I mean, after all, that affection doesn't have to be just a hug. It can be verbal. You can say things that you appreciate and that you really like about your spouse. Don't say things you don't like. We have enough problem with that, right? So just share the things that you like. I mean, obviously, you were attracted to each other to the point that you wanted to live the rest of your life together. So let's work with that. And because you didn't get married saying what you don't like about that person you was about to be married to. She would have ran just as hard as she could, and so would he. So that's not how it works. And so don't think it's going to work after marriage either. It doesn't. So we just simply need to understand there needs to be affection, physical and verbal, from one another. Actually, tell them how lucky you are to have them. By the way, that's beautiful. Proverbs 18:22. So who's ready to find it the wife? Finds a good thing. I mean, after all, we talked about marriage was God's idea. It wasn't man's. It came from God. God's okay with that. It was God said, it's not good for man to be alone. I just agree with you. Doesn't matter if I agree with him or not, it's still the truth. Because God said it. I'm not saying there may not be times in a person's life they may have to live alone. But it's better, according to the scriptures, if you have your spouse, and we talked about some of those issues as to why it's better and how it limits temptation. But take time to hug them. I remember something that stood out in my own family, and my parents were not overly religious, but they were Christians, and we were in church, but I don't ever remember a time when my dad left the house to go to work that he didn't kiss mom, got smack in the mouth. I'm not saying, us children, do like kids do, but bottom line, we knew that by their example that there was affection between them both. And it was a good teaching moment, for us children. It's okay for you to show affection in an appropriate way, even if your children are present. I think it's healthy if you just take the time to do that. Point number 2, women want husbands to have a conversation with them. They want them to talk. To some people, that may be number 1, but you just want them to talk to you. Just take the time. Now, I think sometimes we have a problem with telling it all. Okay, so how does the subject begin? Well, you just begin to share a little something intentionally with your wife about what went on during the day. I can tell you what's going to happen. She's going to want more detail. And you're going to have a problem. Just do the best you can with it. I'm getting old. I've got to excuse my short-term memory. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like, well, I ain't old, but I'm having that problem too. I better take this off and got warm. Oh, hallelujah. It's a real deal. This is a real need, and I don't think sometimes we understand it. But it's just all about taking the time to share. Now, I know sometimes men have busy, and the day's passed. It's been bad enough. I'm out of here. I'm moving on. I don't even want to talk about it. Well, that does not mean you shouldn't. Just because you don't want to talk. We need to be able to communicate, and that's difficult sometimes for people to be able to do that simply because women are from Venus and men are from Mars. I mean, some of you ready to do it, some of you haven't. But, there's a lot of things we have in common, but there's a lot of things we don't. I think conversation sometimes, and what amazes women is the fact how much us men can talk about other things to other men we can't talk about. Well, that's a real deal. So basically, our excuse don't hold water, does it? Really, when we get right down to it. So we need to take the time to have a conversation with our wives. Sometimes, and I've noticed this, and it's in that book, by the way, that women are from Venus and men are from Mars, that women sometimes, they want to just kind of vent to their husbands. Just because they're telling you something's messed up doesn't mean they want you to want to fix it. I know that's me. Shit, that's good. I'm going to fix that right now. But hold on, she just wants to tell you about it. She may not even want it fixed. She just wants to tell you about it right now. And sometimes it's difficult for me to listen. I'm saying, man, Obama, the truth is, we're all in this deal. But they just want to be able to share and tell you some things that's going on in your life without you trying to fix something. Just listen to what she has to say. And you'll be glad you did at the end of the day. It'll help build. We're talking about building something because we care. Because we love somebody. This is why we should go the extra mile to at least attempt to understand why these issues are in reality. Number 3, wives want their husband to be honest. That means your emails, your phone calls. I mean, why not? I mean, if we care, are we hiding something? So they would have every reason to be suspicious. If he wasn't open and honest about who we've talked to. I know you can't tell everything you've talked about. I understand that. But do the best you can. If you tell them more than you know, they're going to find out about it. Just have a real deal. But be honest and open. You should not care, guys. So maybe you want to go home and fix something. I don't see that. I think it's coming on. But I'm just saying, be open and honest with your wife. That's all I want you to be. We shouldn't, if we love our wife, like the Bible says we're supposed to love our wife, and Christ is our head, then we should not have a problem with this. I mean, after all, God knows it. So there's no reason why our wives should not be included in that. And that goes both ways, by the way. It's not, and you guys said amen, but amen, come on. It goes both ways. We should not have anything to hide. And so they just want us to be open. That's one of the things that that wives need. And that goes both ways. Number 4, wives want husbands to help them out financially. They want their financial support. And there's a biblical mandate for that, by the way. 1 Timothy 5:8, the Bible says, if any provide not for his own, especially those of his own household, they deny faith more sin. That's kind of bad, isn't it? So I believe God expects, number 1, husbands to be supportive financially. In other words, He wants us to work. W-O-R-K. He wants us to have a J-O-B. What if you don't like what you do? God never asked you to like nothing about that. He never asked. He expected us, men, to care enough about our families to be supportive. I don't care what it's doing. If it's honorable, that's okay. Gotta make it be enough. If it has to. Whatever it takes. I know women work today, I understand that, but that's no reason why us guys should not take it to heart. And I believe most guys do. But, and by the way, when you bring that money home, it's not just yours. Come on, ladies, come on. I know your wife works, and it doesn't matter what kind of agreement y'all have, and y'all got it split up and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a problem with any of that. I'm just saying, nothing that you have is just yours. When you're married, it belongs to us. It's ours. We're together in this thing. You see, there's a oneness we're talking about here. God says, I want you to be one. He's talking about to Christians much more so than husbands and wives to be at one with one another, to be able to come to agreements. It's okay to discuss things. I understand that. It's okay. But work it out. We're together on this thing. It's ours now. It's not mine to manipulate or do anything. I've seen that happen. And I've seen marriages fail simply because of it. It shouldn't be. Because it's ours. We're one. We're in this thing together. We're going to make it together. Regardless of who makes the most money. There probably women in this room today that may make more money than their husbands. It goes the same. And everybody said, amen. But there are times when that's the case. It's not about it. It's the fact that we're out here doing the best that we can. Trying to help out and be supportive of our spouses. And so we bring in financial support. Number 5 is family commitment. These are the things that wives need strongly desire in a relationship. And this fifth is family commitment. They will know that you're committed to your family. You're not just out there working and taking 8 hours. See, this is some tough areas in life. Most jobs require at least 8 hours a day. And that ain't counting the transporting back and forth. And sometimes that may take an hour. That's 10 hours. If you have a lunch break, that's 11 hours. That's 11 hours out of the day already. And then you got to rest some. Somewhere 6 and 8 hours. You need rest. So that's 2/3 of a day gone. So what that wife wants to know is, are you going to give her some time out of that day? Are you committed to your family enough that you're going to give them a little bit of your time? It's tough. It says we have to work it out. We have to figure out how we're going to do it. It's not always easy. When you're really putting all these hours in, some of you work more than 8 hours a day. And it makes it even tougher. But that wife just needs to know that you're committed to that family and some of your time. You're going to carve some space out of your time that you want to spend with mom and kids. Just be with them, play with them, hug them, kiss them, talk to them. See, all these things I played and mentioned kind of fits in there somewhere. We just don't do it. We're going to do it. Because it works, it's important. And basically all we have left is, with family and God, worship. And these two things can be worked out together and actually should be. Because we need to spend time with God. We can spend time with God together. That's a good thing. I want to recommend something to every couple in marriage in this room here. Before you go to sleep at night, and take time to pray together. And read. You don't have to read the same passage of the scripture or the same thing. But just take some time and pray together at the end of the day. And settle any issues that may lead her to also. I want to move on to demand. I'm running fast, and I got to move a little faster here. I know if I preach over 30 minutes, I'm preaching to myself, so I'm going to try to be moving. All right? Honestly. So I'm trying to do better. So I'm going to have to move on, guys. It don't take me as much to satisfy guys as the big girls. And I'm going to quick this first one. The number one for me is sexual fulfillment. I ain't going to go into that, okay? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's just a matter of intimacy. And that's just a reality. That's the number one thing. Maybe she ought to be glad. Doesn't take long to deal with that. Move on. Right? Easy. All right, come on. All right, let's move on. Number two. Sometimes guys just want the wives to be a part of their life too. And you don't necessarily have to like it, but just maybe go fishing with them. Uh-oh. Done hit a stump. Well, maybe we don't go fishing, don't ride the golf cart, okay? Oh, we're running into some tough areas here. But, and I'm just saying, see, this don't fit 100%. I said that to begin with. This is not 100% of the guys. But some people do. Matter of fact, there's somebody in here that you're here, honey, with your husband. Actually, people here. What happens if you don't get one? Well, just got to deal with those issues. But I mean, these kind of things can enhance your relationship and build. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole purpose of this, is the fact that we need to understand and compare with each other. Now, I'm going to just say, don't mess it up like I did. When I was young and I married, I taught my team to go and creek fishing with me over on Watts Creek. We got one of those poles, you just lay down the creek, you see snakes, you see and all kind of stuff out there. And we was the rig up the Watts Creek back up in there. And I think he was coming back. We'd gone up the creek. He was coming back, maybe down the other side. I don't know the specific details, but this I do remember. I was a little bit ahead of her. She was a little bit back there behind me. I could hear her, but maybe get a glimpse of her every now and then. I know somebody that you don't know left it back there that far. Well, I'm understanding. I told you I'm messing with it. I did something worse than that. There was an old snake somebody here laying out by the path. And being the concerned husband I was, I took it, laid it across the trail so I know she would see it. She would have learned some life lessons from watching snakes. She learned a life lesson. Don't ever go with him fishing. I heard her scream. And she realized by the time she was trying to that snake was dead. Somehow in her mind, she knew I did. So guys, you can't mess it up. She ain't never been creek fishing with me anymore. So we have to understand, that women will always be like we do, but it's important. I mean, if you want them to spend some time with you, you gotta also understand what kind of time. They want quality time. They don't want to be scared to death. They don't want to be put in danger, and all this kind of stuff. So it's important to realize that. But sometimes, men just want the wives to be you, and that's okay. Everybody's not necessarily that on recreational lives. There are times, and it's okay for people to spend time individually. I understand. I think every person should be able to spend some individual time on their own without being questioned about what they did necessarily. It's okay to ask. You don't want to tell, you're in trouble. But I'm just saying, it's okay to be able to spend some time individually together. But recreational companionship is number 2 on the list. Lots of times surprised by that. Well, let them run the golf cart if they don't play golf. Not every case. I'm not saying this for every case. Go fishing, whatever it is that you like to do. Number 3, husbands want their wives to be attractive. Right? Come on. They want their wives to be attractive. I don't want to stop right here. I want to do the initial issue. When you're married a long time, you say, "Oh, I'm doing the best I can." That's all you want. That's all he wants. I mean, that person is attractive to you initially, or you wouldn't be married. You wouldn't be married. So, and if you think you can fix yourself up and get married and not care about it the rest of the time, you are a mistake. Them hugs are going to get fewer, and those kisses are going to get fewer, and they're going to be out the door quicker. I'm just saying. These are important issues. We just do the best we can. That's all. It's being asked of anybody. That goes both ways, by the way. You don't walk around the house with that hair all day, right? Some point in time, you got to put a comb through it or something. If you still got it, So we move on from that. But these are just an area. I was really surprised at some of these. But they just like their wives to do the best they can. And they're good with it. But they want you to look nice. All right? Number 4. And this is kind of a little bit of a surprise, but not altogether, because I think every man deals with this. A husband wants affirmation. Wow. You're a good husband, I really appreciate what you're doing. You do good. Now, if they haven't done something good, you might have to lie. Pick something else. Okay? Just pick something else. I don't have to lie about stuff just because we're trying to understand our spouse, because we should love one another enough to at least try to do that. So find something that you really like about your husband and just tell him how good he is. Everybody's good at something, but they need affirmation. Yeah? Us strong men, we like to be rough and tough, but bottom line is we also like our wives to affirm who we are. You're not a man. You're a man. I can tell you how simple it is. My wife's got a little bill on the phone, and when her phone rings, she said, "Here's my man." I does something to a gray-haired old man, I'll tell you. I'm the man. I'm the man. And that's all he wants to know, is that you're the man. You let him know that you're the man. And it doesn't have to be great. I mean, something just flamboyant. Just be straight up. Just let him know. That's what they want. That's what men want. They just want you to know that you're the man. And they'll go on. I'm telling you, they may struggle a little bit. I'm telling you what, at the end of the day, they'll feel better about themselves, and you'll get more out of your marriage than some of these personalities we talk about. It just works. It just simply works. When we understand one another, we begin to work with one another. Number 5. Admiration. Admiration. They like to be admired. Everybody likes to be a hero. Heard the song, "Although was a hero and ended up a zero." Sometimes we feel like that in life. But I don't know what that song was about. I just remember that song. Give me a break on that one. But that's what happens sometimes. People begin to feel, men men have feelings and all, and they like to be admired. And they know their spouse is not a more important person in their relationship, or they know, than you are. And if you admire that person for anything at all, for what they do, then just simply, let it be known. Just tell them. They will appreciate it. I want to try to close. I want to go to some scripture. And I want to bring some kind of things into the closure here. We talked about in the beginning of our message here about loving husbands, loving wives. And we love one another. It's not just husbands or wives. Wives will love the husbands. But the husbands were, as for love the wives, as Christ loves the church. That's a pretty high mandate for me. To love their wives as Christ loved the church, sacrificially. Now, sometimes people misunderstand what love is. But there's some things that's mentioned, and I'll go to 1 Peter 3, verse 7, where it says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to love, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together with the grace of God, that your prayers be not hindered. I want to deal with some things here, just briefly. I'm trying to close this out. And we love one another, and the Bible tells us husbands to honor the wife. How do you do that? Just like you would honor you have to show them respect. And you do things. See, God said give honor to him on his due. The Bible says children honor their parents. He tells us to honor their wives. So if we expect our children to honor us, then certainly the husbands need to show them ourselves. We treat them with respect. And what concerns them concerns us. It's the reality. You just simply do it. You do it intentionally. I haven't always done this, but I've started to do something. I'm back to see them in too big a hurry. I try to open the door. I'm not ashamed to do it. It's an honor. I mean, not that she can't open the door by herself. She almost throw her handle out sometimes. I'm just saying. She's a strong woman. But I want her to understand and know that I honor her. She's my wife. She's not just my wife. She's God's daughter. She's God's daughter. You see, when we're in this thing like it's supposed to be, we're God's children. So she's not just my wife, she's my sister in the Lord. She's God's daughter. I want to treat God's daughter in a way that's going to please God. So I honor her. And I want to find out ways that I can do it that sometimes maybe she don't even know about it. It's in my mind. I can't think of what else I don't have here because I'm on your line. You just do it. Just do things. I mean, I always care for it, but if you do it in the right way, with the right attitude, then it'll work out. Let me tell you what the consequences if you don't do what the Bible says. You and I decide one of these days we need to hear from God. We're going to pray. Guys, listen to us. You see, the head of the wife is the man that's in charge of the family. They're not going to do everything that you want them to do. That don't keep you from being who you are. What you can do as being the head of your family. Head of man is Christ. But he said if we don't follow the guidelines and build on this type of foundation, when we want to pray, there's a desperate need in our lives. God says, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. believe that is what it says, isn't it? With prayers. Is that the problem? In our churches, with our families? If it is, man, we need to get right. We need to get answers. We want to hear from them. There are desperate situations where we certainly need to be able to talk to the Almighty about some things. We don't need things standing in the way. It's just that it's not treating them as your body. Being what we ought to be to our spouses. In Ephesians 5:32, so this is the great mystery. He's talking about the church. He's talking about marriage previously, this in Ephesians 5. He said, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. It's like between the husband and the wife. There's things there, there's connections. Things that are special in that area. It's only special to God and His children. Those who are following Christ and the church. But there's a oneness there that should be and a connection that comes nowhere else in life except in the marriage. I love chapter 1 Corinthians 13. If we could just simply have this kind of love for one another, it would never end. I realize it comes too. But if we had this kind of love never fails. It never fails to do your life, and it will never end. So I want to do something. I don't know how to end this service today, except for the fact that I know that there's things not perfect. Okay? Why? Marriages are not perfect. It's a constant work. It's a constant building and nurturing. And this is a process. It's ongoing. Every one of our marriages is ongoing. And we have to work. If we value that which God values and He does, then we have conscious work on our relationships. So I'm not going to ask you to come before. I'm just going to ask you to value this. Closing prayer. And number one, if you're unsaved, you say, oh, I'm not saved. I know that's the number one thing. And I want to give my heart back to God today. I believe God's speaking in my heart, and I'm here to submit my heart to you. Just hold your hand up. I'll quickly bring it right back down. If there's anybody here, God bless you. All right. If you're here and say, Brother Ellis, I'm struggling with some issues, and I value my marriage. I want to give it all of God. I want to obey God. I want the strength of God to do it. Hold your hand up, please. Right? Just lift it up and back down, okay? All right. Anyone else quickly? I'll be on there. Right? What I want us to do, I want us to pray. And I want you to pray for one another. You know, if your marriage is doing good and you have a sense somewhere else that might not be, you know, it's good to pray for them. See, we're in this thing together. We're in this thing together. You and your spouse join hands and pray for that couple that may be struggling in life. What a grand thing to do when all is well with you. There may be a time that you would really appreciate someone else interceding for you and your spouse when you're working through some conflict. It's important. It's a high priority on God's list. So I want us to just God and pray. Let God lead you in this prayer. You're close to this. Okay? Let's do it. You pray in your own way. If you want to come to the altar, that's fine. If you want to sit there, other than that. I just want us to pray. I want us to talk to God about these issues. This is a high point. So let's do it. Father, I thank you for the privilege to be able to stand before these people. Lord, as your representative, to declare biblical truths and things that matter to us. Whether it be us personally or spouses, Lord, We just pray that you would help us. We need you to help us to understand one another. We need you to help us, Lord, to love one another and one another. At those times of frustration, those times of faith, God, may our heart be overwhelmed with forgiveness. And we can forgive one another. And Lord, we cannot, and we just refuse because of our love, Lord, to just make history and just take notes about what we don't like. Help us, Lord, to be overcoming believers. That we can overcome the world, the flesh, and the devil. And God, we can be what you want us to be. That our marriages and our families, Lord, can grow up being nurtured by you, Lord. You listening to us. You call upon you. Thank you, God, for giving us the you. Lord, for allowing us to just talk to you. Share our memories. And then be thankful for one another. And Lord, I ask you to bless those people that are here today. Whatever situation they're in, there's transitions, there's all kinds of things. But Lord, I know that you can help that person and those among us. Or that have suffered great disappointment in life and are dealing with many struggles even today. Lord, you can give them peace down deep inside, Lord. And if others refuse to love us, we know, Lord, that you love us. And we'll experience that love and we'll share it with those who do not or may not choose to love us back. The love is for others. And God, we just want to ask you for your help. We can't give what we don't have. But if we have the love of God in our hearts, we can share it with others. God, we give thanks to you for your blessings and for you empowering us to do everything that you shared in the scriptures today. That we can live a holy life. That we can work things out together. In Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you, our prayer today. God be with you. That's going to be in the very area. That's what you're talking about. All right.